Hi, I'm Tanya Kutia, Head of Publishing at Butterfly. One of my most memorable moments last year was when we published our first local author, Tamsin Alfino. Around about 4 years ago, she contacted me and she wanted to know if I would be interested in publishing a series where she introduces the most important emotions to children. She also attached her first book, which is called Riziki, the Angry Rhinoceros. So I quite often get these emails from prospective authors asking me if I would be interested in publishing their books. But unfortunately, I have to be quite selective as I have to make sure that it will fit into our existing list, but it will also work in our markets and in our formats. Once I opened Riziki, though, I knew that I had to publish this series. So there are quite a few reasons why I love Tamsin's books. It's called Game Ranger Grace and the Big Five Feelings. So what she does is she takes South Africa's big five animals and use them as main characters in books where she has a story about them dealing with the big five emotions, and then little Game Ranger Grace comes in and she helps them deal with it. What could be more local and lekker? Also, the illustrations are bright and beautiful, perfect for our market, and children won't be able to resist these characters. She also writes this in rhyming format, which is very important because rhyme helps children hear a sound in a word and then also start spotting the same sound in other words, which is the first step to reading. And then last but definitely not least, these books were designed by Tamsin to increase your child's emotional vocabulary. This means that they will understand the feeling, what they're currently feeling is fear, and they will be able to tell you what it is they're feeling, which will help them a lot in life and will help you. It also increases the emotional intelligence or EQ, because not only is Tamsin getting them to understand what the word is, but to give them a word for what they're feeling, but she also gives you and them tips and tricks on how to deal with this coping mechanisms. So in South Africa, we have a great educational system and they do all the subjects they have to, but unfortunately, there is no space for emotional education in this curriculum. So as parents, we have to look after this ourselves. And this is such an important series as it will really help you with little ones to get them to understand their emotions. Tamsin has a master's degree in clinical social work and currently practices as a psychotherapist for adults and children in Cape Town. So I think we can all agree that she's definitely qualified to write these books. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the 5 covers of these books, and then I will take you through one so you can see all the elements that we've added to make this even better. Okay, so the first book is Ika, the Sad Elephant. Second one is Leilani, the Disgusted Leopard. The third one is Lungi, the Joyful Lion. Then we have Riziki, the Angry Rhinoceros. And last is Batu, the Fearful Buffalo. So I'm going to take you through Batu. The first element that we've added is a little QR code in the corner here. So if you scan this, the author will be reading the story to your child with a chime telling them when to turn the pages. We've done this because we know that the story is so nice that your child's going to want to listen to it 1,000 times. Then the second thing I wanted to show you is we do a little introduction over here about what is a game ranger, what is a game reservation, and then Tamsin also tells them a bit more about the big 5 animals and the big 5 emotions. Right at the bottom over here, you'll see that some words are in purple. So every book gets assigned a feelings color. So the feeling for fear here is purple, and when we read the story, you'll see that all fear-associated words will be in purple. I'm going to read you this first page. I'm just going to show you so you can see there's some purple words on there. Okay, so you can also hear how cute the story is. Batu, the fearful buffalo, was afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes he'd get so anxious it would make his tummy ache. There were so many new things Batu really wished to try, but thinking he won't do them well would make him feel too shy. So then you carry on with that little cute story and how he meets little Game Ranger Grace and she helps him deal with his fear and he overcomes it. Then at the end of it, so those fear-feeling words that I was showing you in purple, so you've got a whole page now with all these words that came up in the story. The reason we're doing this is that initially, obviously, it's already great to get them to understand this feeling that I'm feeling now is fear, this is anger. But then as you take them through this book again and again, they will also come to understand that there's different levels of fear. For instance, if you're worried, You feel very troubled by something and you think about it a lot. But when you feel nervous, you feel uneasy or jumpy. So we're even taking this step further. We're not just giving them the big five emotions, we're giving them the variations in those emotions. And then my favorite element that we've added is Tamsin has done discussion questions. This is something that you'll do with your child. So you'll say, so what happened? What do you think? Why did Batu feel like you felt? Have you felt like that? Tell me your physical. What did you feel like physically? Was your tummy aching? Was your heart beating faster? What did you feel like? And then he had Game Ranger Grace to speak to. Who would you speak to if you were in this situation? And then if they don't know when they're at school or when they're wherever, you can give them safe people they can speak to. And then you also speak to and speak through the resolution in the story. So why did Batu try? What happened? And then because Game Ranger Glaze explained to him that if you never tried something, you will never grow. And then she does this really cute thing that I love. She calls it a central message. It's very much like a little 4 or 5 word motto that you can give to them. So when they get into a situation where they start getting too scared to try new things, then you can say, we learn by failing. And they can keep on telling themselves that. And then on the next page, still more. Um, this is where Tamsin speaks to you, the parent, and she explains to you why do children feel fear or happiness or whatever is in other books, anger. And with fear is basically fear of the unknown. And obviously being a child, there's a lot more unknown than there is for adults. So they tend to be scared more often than we are. So she says one of the ways to help them is to explain to them they've already overcome so many fears. I mean, they couldn't sing this song, they couldn't do this rhyme, they couldn't do this dance, they couldn't do the ABCs or whatever they can do at this age already. And then she gives you specific top tips to deal with things. If they're scared that they have to go and walk to the front of class to collect something, you can start practicing that at home. If they're scared about going to the zoo, you can do a little fake going through the zoo and making it fun with them at home, and so it becomes a little bit more real to them. And then the last thing in the book that we do, we introduce them to all the different characters and do a little synopsis of each story. The reason we've done this is so that once you've done the fearful buffalo, they can go for things like, oh, I've been angry, like little Riziki. Can we get that story next so you can help me deal with that emotion and I can better understand it? So all of this and all 5 of these books will be available in stores very soon. That actually arrived in my warehouse last week. And these will be around about 50 Rand. And if you don't find them, please do let us know. Also, please give us feedback once you've received them and let us know what you think about these. I'm exceptionally proud of them, and I do think that they can really and truly help your child. And then we are also planning other titles in the series. So we're thinking of doing a board game or game cards and activities and coloring, which I'll tell you about when we get there. And then I also just want to mention that our second author has just gone to print last week. So I will soon be telling you what's coming and how cool those will be. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day.